Kyle Larson has been touted as a generational talent for so long, ever since race fans seen his raw ability behind the wheel of a race car. He showed flashes coming up through the NASCAR ranks, but it's always the question of, can you be successful in the Cup Series? He showed that he can drive a Cup car really fast, but he didn't have much success between 2014 to 2019, scoring 7 wins with Chip Ganassi Racing, who wasn't the strongest team. At best, they were a B- team. Fast forward a few years later, and Kyle Larson now drives for Hendrick Motorsports, who has been one of the best teams in NASCAR for the past 30 years. Larson is now living up to the hype. He scored 10 wins in the championship in 2021. Larson is no longer the underdog. He is the guy to beat on a weekly basis. I noticed something though. I mentioned that Larson is driving for Hendrick Motorsports. Well, it's a lot of people that think that he got that ride because of his big mistake back in 2020. This is a false narrative about Kyle Larson ever since he landed at Hendrick Motorsports, and it doesn't make a lick of sense. How does saying a racial slur land you a ride at Hendrick Motorsports? I think I need to refresh a lot of people's minds real quick, because everyone seems to forget that Kyle Larson was one of the hottest free agents in 2020 before his mistake. Talks about him being a free agent actually started in late 2019. A lot of heavy hitter teams were eyeing him, and one of those heavy hitter teams was Hendrick Motorsports. In early 2020, you kept hearing that Larson is most likely headed to Hendrick Motorsports. You kept hearing it over and over. Then the shutdown happened for the pandemic, and of course, that's when the Larson incident happened. So Larson was already on his way to Hendrick Motorsports, and I ask again, how does this incident in 2020 land him a top tier Cup ride? Someone try explaining that to me. Saying something that Larson said doesn't reward you. When Larson said a racial slur, he lost everything. He was fired by Ganassi, lost all of his sponsors, all his endorsements, suspended from NASCAR, and took a negative hit when it came to his reputation. Yeah, it wasn't rainbows and sunshine for Kyle Larson. If saying a racial slur is supposed to land you a top ride, then don't you think everyone that's not in a top tier ride would say that? Come on now, y'all. Y'all sound ridiculous. Kyle Larson was simply rewarded a second chance. That's it. He got a second chance from NASCAR, Rick Hendrick, and Jeff Gordon. It's almost like second chances are a thing in life. And people saying that he got off easy and he should have been in a back market car, I gotta disagree with you. It's not like Larson got a slap on the wrist. I just went over what happened to him after his mistake. Something that wasn't mentioned in that is that he also had to sell his home. Dude didn't have no money coming in until he got reinstated into the dirt racing scene. Did he not suffer enough? NASCAR reinstated him, and guess what? Teams still wanted him, just like how they wanted him before his incident, and Rick Hendrick was the guy that was able to get Larson. If you got a hatred for Kyle Larson because of his incident in 2020 or for whatever reason, then fine. I'm not sitting here saying you gotta like the guy, but don't sit here and make false narratives because you hate Larson, because that's what I think is happening. People dislike the guy, so here they are making false narratives because they hate seeing him in elite equipment. Well, it sucks for those who feel that way, because Larson is going to be in elite equipment for years to come. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Larson shouldn't have said what he said. He has to live with it, and he knows it. But people, stop with this false narrative that he only got an HMS ride because of his 2020 incident. I'm going to leave it at that. If the comments on this video get too wild, I would not be afraid to disable the comments for this video. That's my opinion on that whole deal. So I'm going to end it off with that. I'm going to go ahead and roll up out of here. Y'all have a good one. Peace.